Hello, my soapy friends, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Lissa, also known as the Soap Chef on this channel, where we make all things with a rather good lather. I've been a maker in this industry for over 2 decades. We are a 3D bath bomb mold supplier, and my favorite products to make, of course, are bath bombs. But that's enough about me. Let's get right into the video. Hey friends, thanks for stopping by today for another video. In a second, we're going to go over to Creation Station and I'm going to show you guys how I master batch my bath bomb mix for efficiency. It's really important to me that I be as streamlined as possible, especially during my busy season, which I'm about to start getting into. In another 2 weeks, I have my farmer's market starting, and then we do events throughout the year. We're really busy in the winter time, especially with all the holiday events. I'm also going to be showing you guys just a very quick version on how to use your Arbor press when you're making bath bombs using 3D bath bomb molds. Following this video is going to be a entirely separate video on how to use the Arbor press and the replacement pieces that we make and sell for that Arbor press. It's a game changer, let me tell you. So without further ado, I don't want to keep you guys too long. This is a little bit of a lengthy video, but I think that it's going to help you if you too want to master batch. It takes some time in the beginning just to get everything together, but once you do that, it's so simple to just go grab one of each thing and go and get your bath bombs done. So let's go over to Creation Station and I'll show you guys my method for master batching my bath bomb mix. So I thought I would take you guys along today because it is time once again for me to restock all of my master batching that I do with my bath bomb mix and my butters and things like that. So I'm just going to do a couple of each portion. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I do 12 individual master batches. Each one of those is 4.5 pounds. And that will last me about 2 to 3 days, depending on what time of the year it is. In the beginning of the season, I can stretch that to 3 days. But towards the end of the season, when we start getting into holidays in October and all the way through December, I'm going through about, I would say, 5 to 6 master batches per day to keep up with the bath bombs. So I thought I'd take you guys along for the ride. I was going to do this as a live. I have no idea, y'all, what happened with the the YouTube app on the phone. The options are no longer there when I go to do a live. So I don't know if I have to uninstall it and reinstall it or whatever, but every time I try to do it, there's no options for the title, to put all your descriptions in there, all the information that we do behind the scenes for YouTube videos, it's no longer there. Also, and most importantly, it won't let me do landscape. It will only let me do portrait, which puts those black bars on each side. I don't like that. No bueno. So we're not doing a live. We're just going to do this, and I'm going to splice it into pieces, parts. Like I said, we're going to do the butters now. I will only do a couple of them. Then we will move on to the bigger containers of all of my powders, and then we'll move on to the citric acid. So I reuse these. They're not washed out because all that was in here was butter, and I'm going to put butter right back in, so there's no point. So I just put one of those up there. I don't use oil in my recipe. I use cocoa butter and shea butter. The reason why I do that is because it helps with hardness of the bar. It helps with smoothness of the bar, and it helps with the humidity should that spike. Right now we're at 39% humidity, which is fantastic if I was going to make bath bombs today, which I am going to be doing as soon as I'm done with this. I don't play the high humidity and low humidity game. I'm in Pennsylvania, so compared to out west, they would consider me to be low humidity. At my highest here, I think it went up to about 60%, which is really not too bad. 50% and under would be considered low, 50% and higher would be considered high. But if you live in a really wet environment, let's say like Washington State, add a lot more dry powders, and that will combat that. If you're living in a really dry environment, let's say Arizona, add oils and butters. But for me, butters work year round. So I don't play that game with the changing up of recipes. Anyhow, that being said, let's go ahead and get what I need in here with my, this is the cocoa butter over here. I've got a huge box of it. I've got many more boxes of it over there. I go through quite a bit of it. Okay, so that's exactly what I needed for the cocoa butter. I have my shea butter here in 1 pound bags that I keep downstairs in the freezer. I took this out last night so it would be a little bit softer to work with today. Oh, way too much. I thought I eyeballed that pretty good. There we go. And so there you go. There's one of those down, and we'll do one more. There's the amount of shea butter that I need. Sorry for the noise in the background. The air conditioner's on. It's going to be needed across the country this week. Everybody's having a heat wave, including us here in PA. A little bit too much. All right, there you go. All right, so there's 2 of them already. And I will just keep on going, and then I put my lid on. There you go. There's 2 of my butters all ready to go. I keep those to my right of creation station on the top shelf. I have all of my powders, all of my citric, all of my butter, times 12 of each. And so then I'll just take 1 of each one of those, and that makes a 4.5 pound batch. So that's it for the butters. Give me a second and we'll move on to doing the powders. Okay, on to the next portion. We're going to be weighing out our citric acid. Again, I'm only going to do a couple of these on film, and then we'll move on to the last part. Okay. So again, I've got 12 containers of citric acid. I've got 12 containers of all of my powders. I've got 12 containers of my butters. And then the only thing that I have to do once it is making day, which you'll find out in a little bit because we are going to make some. Oh, please. The only thing that I have to do on making day is put together my fragrance, my binder, and my polysorbate. And when I am doing that, before I start my day of making, depending on how many batches I feel like I can do in that day, and that's all dependent on the time of the day, I will go ahead and line up all of my cups and do all of my binder, all of my polysorbate, and then I'll go get my individual fragrances. I will also take my individual, oh please, this is the container that I use for all of my powders and the baking soda, my surfactants, cream of tartar, kaolin clay. I've got heavy cream powder in here as well. And so I will line all of these up, take the lids off, and add my lake colorant right in there, cover it back up, put it off to the side. And so then I'm really ready. All I have to do is grab one of these, one of my butters, one of my powders that already has the colorant already in there. All of my fragrances and my binder and my polysorbate is all ready to go. And it just streamlines things so easy so that I can be as efficient as possible to whip out these bath bombs. And I'll show you that too at the end here once we're done, because we are going to make some. There we go. All right, I'm going to continue going off camera, but just 2 of these. Put my lids on. on camera so far, we've done our butters. Again, I've got 12 of them. They're sitting over on my top shelf. But on camera, we did 2 of our butters. We did 2 of our citric acids. All of this is going to go over there on the top shelf. Give me a moment to get this done with the rest of my containers. Then we'll move on to our powders. Okay, we are ready for the last portion. I'm going to go ahead and put my mask on because I do add powdered surfactants. I recently just changed up my formula very, very slightly to omit one of the surfactants. I used to use 3 of them, the SLSA, SCI, and SCS. I have recently just changed it up to omit the SLSA and just leave it with the SCS and the SCI because it just creates a more creamy, thick kind of a foam with just those 2, and that's what my customers like. So let's go ahead and put this mask on because I don't want to breathe that stuff in. And I'm only going to do 2 of these on camera and the rest off camera, and then we'll go ahead and we'll make a batch, okay? So, and we're going to be using the Arbor press, which is part of this, how I master batch my bath bomb mix, and also how to use the Arbor press. So here we go. Let's grab a bowl. I do not sift any of my ingredients now. I wait until I am ready to use them. And then I will go ahead and grab my strainer, put it in my bowl, take my whole bowl of powders and dump it in. I also do that with my citric in a separate bowl. All right, so I always start with doing my powdered surfactants first, and then I try to, quote, unquote, bury them with the other ingredients, just to help with the wafting up of those particular ingredients. So let's start off with the SCS. And I just transfer my SCS, well, actually all of my powdered surfactants. This big, huge bin right here, I'll push it over in just a second. I have lots of these and they are sitting behind me, behind Creation Station. And I just take from those and refill them into these smaller, more manageable containers that I can bring on top of the table when I'm ready to start mixing everything. All right, so that was the SCS. Let's do the SCI. Next, we're going to be putting in heavy cream powder. That creates a lovely foam, a luxurious, soft feeling to that foam, and it does help with the bubbles. Next, we're going to be putting in the cream of tartar. Next comes the kaolin clay. And last comes the baking soda. You can see the size tub that this is. It's a huge industrial kitchen tub. And I have all of my powders sitting right behind me, as I said, in these big tubs. So I add this last so that it can cover all of the surfactants to help with all of the particles wafting up into the air as I'm measuring things. Again, I do not sift anything now. I wait until I am ready to start making. One more on camera. The SCI. SCS. Milk powder. Heavy cream, that is. Kaolin clay. Cream of tartar. And lastly, the baking soda. All right. And there's 2 of the powders. And then I stack them and put them over there up on the top shelf. I'm going to do the rest of these off camera, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
A few moments later.
And here is the top shelf of my rack with all 12 of my master batches. I've got all of my powders on the right, my citric acid is the middle, and then my butters are over there on the left. So when I'm getting ready to make some bath bombs, I just grab 1 of each. Easy peasy. Okay, so like I said, when I'm ready to have bath bomb day, I usually get however many I think I'm going to be able to do in that day. It's pretty late right now. It's going on noon. I'm only here at the soap shop until 4 o'clock. This is kind of pushing it because I do other things in between. I'm answering emails, I'm answering phone calls, I'm doing things on the internet, I'm posting, I'm getting orders processed. There's a lot of other things that I do kind of in between. That being said, this is what I do though when it's bath bomb day. I have everything all laid out for me. Each one of these will have one of those sitting on top of it. For today on video, I am only going to be doing a white batch because I am in desperate need of making some more paint your own bath bombs. So that's going to go over there with my just plain white, which is what we're going to do on the video today. But I just wanted to let you guys see that this is what I do. I just grab however many I'm going to be needing, and then I dump my powders in. So we've got red, yellow, blue, green, and orange. Then I get my scents ready. Red, yellow, blue, green, and orange. And these are all for the kiddo bath bombs that I make. And so I try to keep the scents kind of simple so that they will know by looking at it, maybe use their brain a little bit. What color do you think red would be? Cherry. How about yellow? Pineapple. How about blue? Blueberry. How about green? Green apple. And how about orange? Orange. I try to keep it really simple for the kiddos. It's a nice kind of a little thing that we do especially when I'm out at the farmers markets. I have a ton of kiddos that come out to see me every year, and that is starting in 2 weeks. So this is what I do to get ready for bath bomb day. Let me clean this up and put it over onto the side. I'll see how far I get with that today. But on camera, I'm just going to do a white batch. We're going to do some paint your own bath bombs using some of our animal and fruit molds, okay? Give me a second, be right back. Okay, we are ready to begin with our plain white batch. I need to make a bunch of paint your own bath bombs for the kiddos. I'm completely out. These are hybrid molds I'm going to be working with today. If you're unfamiliar with that term, it's a cross between a 3-piece mold and a vacuum form mold. So it's made out of 3D plastic, just like our 3-piece press molds, hand molds, whatever you want to call them. But that's a 3-piece. And then this is made out of plastic. It's a hybrid, kind of like a sand castle. So hybrid molds are 1-piece, like a vacuum, but it's printed using 3D printing with the filament. Okay, just in case you guys were unaware of any of those terms. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and grab my butter, which I've already done, put it into my heat-safe container. I'm going to go pop this in the microwave, and I'll be back in just a second. Okay, all melted. Let's get rolling. We're going to put our mask on here. All right, let's just move these out of the way for right now. We're going to start dumping. Again, like I said in the earlier part of the video, I go ahead and put my strainer in now. This is just white, like I said before. That's all that is white. Do it slowly so that you're not getting those powders just dumped in there and they're all going to start wafting up. They're going to anyways to a degree, but try to eliminate if you can. I mean, this is just so easy, you guys, and this is why I master batch, so that I can be as efficient as possible. By the way, I do have the air conditioner on as well as the fan on low. It is currently 79 degrees here in the soap shop, and it's 40% humidity. Ew. All right, now I just gonna give it a little bit of a stir just to combine everything. No color today for the paint your own bath bombs. We're going to be adding color in the middle once we start making. I'm only going to do a couple of these on video because it's been lengthy as it is. The main point of this video was to show you guys how to master batch your bath bombs. All right, now that we've got all of our powders all dumped in, the next thing we're going to do is dump in our fragrance oil, which I've already pre-measured. I'm using a Hawaiian Tropic, which is very much coconutty, a little bit of vanilla. Although this particular one does not turn the bath bomb brown. I get this one from Wellington. I don't know quite if it's called Hawaiian Tropics. Something to that effect. I'd have to go and look again. Because again, I like to try to match the colors with whichever fragrance we're going to be using, or vice versa. The fragrance oil is going to match the color. And so when the kids look at this and they're looking at a white bath bomb, I want them to think, what do you think a white bath bomb should smell like? Coconut. That's right. Again, these are all 4.5-pound batches that I work with. Here is my cocoa butter and shea butter all melted down. Let's get in there with our hands, and then we will add our citric. Since this is just white, we don't have to mix too much. There's no colorant that we're having to combine. All right. Last but not least, let's get our citric in here. So easy, you guys, so easy. You're just grabbing and dumping. In there with your hands again, get that citric all mixed in real well. Yep, we're ready. Making messes everywhere. All right, let me go put on a clean pair of gloves. I just hate working with the gloves after I've mixed everything. I need a nice fresh pair. I know. It's my OCD. Sorry. Okay, fresh pair of gloves. We're ready to go. By the way, if anybody was interested in purchasing these little glass containers with a cork stopper, I get these at the Dollar Tree, and it's really convenient to do my fragrances when I'm doing bath bombs. All right, let's get rolling here. I do put a color in the middle of my paint your own bath bombs because obviously they're white. I want the kids to have some kind of colors. So when I am doing that, I want to think about that. What do, when I put the red in here and the yellow, once that gets into the tub, is it going to be brown? No, it's going to be a really cool orange, right? So think about your color combinations. If you're going to do a blue and red on the inside, that's going to be a purple for you. Blue and yellow, once it's in the tub and starts combining, that's going to be a green for you. So just don't go willy-nilly with your colors when you're thinking about your embeds, whether you put them in the little square embeds or whatever shape you want to put them in. I don't. I use powder all the time. So just think about that. Now, I'm not going to be able to do that with the hybrids. There's just not enough room. Hybrids are usually less than an inch thick. So I'm not going to be able, very little, if any. So let's go ahead and start with the fish here. Hold on, let me get my flip plates. Very important to have a flip plate. There. All right, so let's just start by sprinkling just a little bit in the bottom here. If you guys are ever having problems with getting your details to come out, I say this all the time, nobody listens, but that's okay. Take your finger. Just give it some light finger presses on the bottom of the mold. That's why we make our molds with the design on the bottom plate most of the time. If you hear anybody else saying that's a bad design, don't use those type of molds, it's never going to come out, the design has to be on the plunger piece, that's absolute, complete, utter nonsense. I've heard it a lot actually lately, and that's nonsense. Think about it. If you have your plunger piece, again, design on the bottom plate. Let's pretend that that's flat. No design. Your design instead is on your plunger piece. What if your design is really deep? Which we try to modify our design so that they're not very deep. Let's just say that this has that design on it. There's your plunger. Put your mold in, blah, 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 your mix, then you start to plunge. Okay, and then you're gonna push it through. What if your design, once you take, so now you have your bath bomb sitting on the top. Now you have to try to flip that over onto a flip plate and try to take that top plunger piece off of there. There's no way to ensure with a plunger piece that those designs are absolutely going to come out. You'll have to plunge and plunge and plunge several more times to try to get it to come out. I'm not saying that happens with every single mold. It doesn't. We have a lot of molds that have the design on the plunger piece. My preference to ensure success is to put the design on the bottom plate so that you can do what I just did by pressing lightly in the design to ensure that it comes out. I just wanted to make that clear. Let's see if I could put just a little bit. I usually don't put really any colors into the hybrids. Again, there's not a lot of space. That's the only reason why. And because we're working with a wet mix and the powders are very, very dry, it won't come out a lot of times. All right, sprinkle some more mix on the top of your hybrid. Push it down. Sprinkle some more. Give it a nice good push now. Take your scraper, whatever kind of scraper you have, a dough scraper, a soap cutter that looks like it's a scraper, whatever you have. Now, I like to go around, because you want a flat bottom on your hybrids. I like to go around the perimeter then with my thumbs and give it a nice press all the way around the edges. Then I'll go in the middle, press that down. Good enough. All right, let's go ahead and take our fish, put the flip plate on the top, turn it over, start whacking. Hold your ears, guys. I like to whack all the way around the sides as well. And then just lift straight up. There's our cute little fishy. You can see a little bit of the color coming out on that side, but it's not cracking, which is good. Keep remixing your mix, you guys, too. I use witch hazel and rubbing alcohol as my binder, and so go ahead and have a nice little spritz bottle sitting next to your mix while you're working in case your mix gets too dried out. Mine never does. I don't have that problem. Somebody asked me that the other day. How do I make 4.5 pound batches at a time without it getting all dry? My mix just never gets dry. It just doesn't. Okay, let's do, let's see, let's do this cute little fox. I have a fox and I have a raccoon. Let's do the fox, and then I'll move on to doing 2 of the hand presses, the 3-piece molds. So again, we're going to sprinkle just a little bit, give it a little bit of jiggle. You don't want to put a lot in there at first. All right, do your finger presses, even it out. Do your finger presses. This works, you guys. Trust me. All right, let's get a little bit of colorant in here. Again, we're not putting a lot, and we're trying to get it like kind of leveled out. In other words, not big lumps of it, because that will potentially cause it to crack in half. So try to get it as flat as you can. All right, put some more mix on the top. Push down. More, and now really give it a good push. Take your scraper, whatever kind of scraper you're using. I never used to do this before because I just didn't think that it mattered. I would just rub with my hand on the back of the vacuum form molds, and that always worked, and I never had an issue with that. But with the hybrid molds, with the 3D printed molds that are hybrids, it's kind of necessary. You really need to make sure with these type of molds that you're getting a nice flat bottom. All right, that's good. Get your flip plate, turn it over. Hold your ears. And lift straight up. And there's our little fox. He's so cutesy. All right, so there's 2 of the hybrids. I will do 2 of the 3-piece hand press molds, and then I'll let you guys go. I'm going to be using the Arbor press, and I'm going to be doing a whole nother video on just how to use the Arbor press and the replacement pieces that we sell. That's going to be following this video. So part of this video will be included because I'm starting to work with that now. All right, here's our beautiful Arbor press. All right, the pieces that we sell, the replacement pieces that we sell, are this bottom piece, which is shaped kind of weird. It's got all these different holes and different spaces in between because it's an Arbor press. It's really, really sharp. I know for a fact I would cut my finger on that. So we make this replacement piece, which just slides right in and out. Oh, please. There we go. And also, we make this piece that goes on the bottom of the plunger, this round piece that sticks on the bottom of your plunger, because this is completely metal. If you try to use that by itself on top of one of your plastic molds, it's going to crush it for sure. So here's the pieces in question. Here's the bottom plate, which slides right in. And here's your plunger piece that goes right onto the end of your metal plunger. We've got screws in the end of it to keep it in place, but then you have to duct tape it. We do send out complete and thorough instructions with the pieces that we sell to replace those Arbor press pieces. You can get this Arbor press at Harbor Freight. When we purchased it, I think 2 years ago, maybe it was even 1 year ago, I'm not even sure now. I think it was 2 years ago. Anyways, it was $65. So then we sell these pieces, these replacement pieces. I want to say it's a little over 30. So for less than $100, you're getting a really good piece of equipment that works wonderfully. We have so many success stories from people who are brand new up to professional people who have been doing this for a really long time. They love using the Arbor press with the 3-piece molds. All right, let's get rolling. Let's go ahead and do our little bear since we've taken him out multiple times. 3 pieces, right? So you've got your bottom plate with your design, you've got your outer shell, stick that down on the bottom, and we're gonna start filling. Shake to get all of the bath bomb mix into all the cracks and crevices. I take my spoon and do a little well right in the middle for my colors. Noticing I'm putting a lot more color into the 3-piece ones because it can handle it because of the depth. All right, get some more on the top. Shake to level it off. Take your plunger piece, stick it on the top. And bring in the Arbor press. You don't need to go hard. When I first started using this, I was like cramming it down. You'll see that in other videos. My gosh, I was going hard, you guys. It's not necessary. You can feel it. Look, just like that. You can feel the top of that plunger piece go down. Very little. Take a look at my wrist on the pressure. It's barely anything. You're moving it around, all the way around the perimeter. Go back in the middle and do 1 or 2 there. It's like no pressure whatsoever. Take our spoon. Turn it over and take that plunger piece off. Grab your flip plate. Turn it over. and just go slowly up and off with your bottom plate that has the design. If there's any resistance whatsoever, you want to tap a little bit more. While you're trying to lift up. And there's our little bear. Remember, it's got the color on the inside. All right, one more. Let's do a little dog. And then I'll let you guys go, because then I've got to do the other part of the video for the Arbor press. My hands are so sweaty inside of these gloves. I'm like slipping all over the place. All right, let's do a dog now. Shake a little bit more. I like for my bath bomb mix to be about 3/4 of the way up my shell before I make my well to add my colorants. That kind of ensures that the colorant is not going to go through the bottom of the bath mold, and it's also not going to come peeking out of the top of it either. In case you're wondering my ratio as far as my bath bomb dust, it's my bath bomb mix. I do that because I have a lot of kids in my area who are super sensitive, and even with my grown-up bath bombs, I don't use the baking soda to citric acid 1-to-1 ratio. I don't do that. It's too harsh for the people in my area. They don't like that when they buy other people's bath bombs that has that in it. So I've been doing it this way for years. It's just my regular bath bomb mix. I just put a short up on the channel yesterday, I think, and showed you guys the trays of bath bomb mix, all the different color bath bomb mix. It's my regular bath bomb recipe. I make it, put it out on a baking sheet tray like I have right over here to my left, spread it out and let that dry. Then I grind that up real fine, and that's what I use for my bath bomb powder to go on the inside as an additional colorant, my contrast colors. When I put the short up yesterday, I made 8 different trays of the bath bomb mix, the bath bomb powder, in 8 different colors, because I'm going to be using that for the make your own bath bomb dust at an event that we do every year in August. It's a 4-day event. I have a make your own bath bomb dust table, and the kids go bananas over it. So all of that bath bomb dust is done. I ripped off a little piece of his mouth there. So there was a little bit of resistance, and I should have tapped more because I ripped off a little piece of his mouth right there on the bottom. That was me, not the mold. That was my bad. I felt the resistance. And isn't that cute? All right, you guys, I think that is going to wrap it up for this video. Like I said, I'm going to keep on going. I have to kind of start from scratch, doing another video right after this with regards to using the Arbor press to make your bath bombs. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you got some tips as far as master batching your bath bomb mix, how to go about that, how I do it anyways, which is very, very efficient. I try to get everything that I use here from the Dollar Tree. Like all of my containers that I used for my master batching, those are all from the Dollar Tree. Like I said before, this glass container with the cork in it, it's got a little chalkboard on the front so you can use chalkboard markers and write on there. Those are also from the Dollar Tree. Pretty much these that I keep all my colorants in, Dollar Tree. Wash bin from the Dollar Tree. Everything's from the Dollar Tree, you guys. Try to save money whenever you can. That's why I try to do the master batching, is to just try to be efficient as I can. And it really does work. Okay, that is going to do it for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, share the video if you'd like to with all of your friends. And any and all of the molds that you see here are up on the Etsy site. That is our full catalog of molds. We only have a partial catalog up on soap-chef.com, but the full catalog you can find up on our Etsy shop, which is Soap Chef Molds. Okay, that's going to do it, you guys. Be kind and stay humble, okay? Take care of yourselves, and we will see you soon.